So, here you have it. This is what years of technological evolution have led to. The demise of conventional and, if you will, genuine human face-to-face interaction, which leads me to ask you, the audience, what have cell phones really done to us? Sad but true, there is a fake Call Me application for Android, which is developed by Mobile App Builder and sold on Google Play for a meager 99 cents. Get out of awkward situations by giving yourself a fake call. Schedule multiple fake calls to make it really urgent to get out of whatever situation. Maybe you want to avoid someone you don't like. According to Time magazine, 13% of people use cell phones to avoid human contact, or better put, pretend to use their phones to dodge having to talk to people in real life. A rather comical point that must be brought to the table is that Facebook has at least 3 pages relating to the issue, 2 of which are titled, "Thank you phone for letting me look at you in awkward situations," and "Playing with my cell phone to avoid awkward situations," with nearly 530,000 followers combined. In addition, there are blogs as well as a WikiHow page on how to confront and cope with this type of issue, clearly establishing a niche within the interactive world of communication. As a student who has spent 3 semesters at the University of Tampa, it's very hard not to notice the pervasive use of cell phones in virtually every setting, whether it be walking to class, going to eat, overcoming boredom, and most of all, avoiding awkwardness. Cell phones, along with other social media today, are supposed to connect us, make us better at networking, and above all, improve our lives, or so we thought. My theory is that this awkward avoidance culture has become an epidemic, not only amongst campuses, but also in general. While this may seem like a simplification, actually think about how our interaction habits have changed. Looking around, today's smartphones, iPhones, and Blackberries, to name a couple, have seemingly generated, in the long run, a detrimental effect towards social interaction, most notably within the younger generation. If you don't believe me at first hand, all you have to do is witness a campus setting for a few days, or even as little as a day, to realize this. Of course, this applies to other groups as well, but I'm going to focus for the most part on students and how they jeopardize their ability to communicate effectively in the future. So, where might this originate? Well, within a little term scholars call communication apprehension, which refers to an individual's level of fear or anxiety associated with either real or anticipated communication with others. Yes, it's true, people still avoid potential conversations without cell phones, like the good old days where subtle theatrics such as coughing as a substitute for eye contact could pull it off. But in the 21st century, the cell phone has become the trend. Indeed, some of us have done it at one point or another, but how do those who depend on it control it? Now, while much of this phenomenon, if you will, is present basically everywhere, there's no better example to make of it than at the University of Tampa, as I did mention earlier. Perhaps it's the way the campus is set up, enabling us to encounter friends, enemies, or even acquaintances multiple times throughout the day, for better or worse. Let's face it. Maybe you're in a hurry going to class, or you're in a bad mood, or you got rejected by someone over the weekend at your local bar. To put it in perspective, whatever the reasons, it is apparent that the cell phone addiction and awkward avoidance techniques are prevalent amongst the university. Let's take the classic elevator scenario and look at it in 2 essential ways. The manner in which most people generally behave in an elevator is one thing, but using an elevator to your advantage by engaging with strangers or acquaintances is another, thus opening a potential door of possibilities. Because you're utilizing your phone to prevent a moment you may deem as awkward, you might very well miss out on a life-changing opportunity. For example, moving up the social ladder, an elevator speech that could have been never happened because of the communication apprehension you exhibited. And it wasn't until later that you found out that person was a Fortune 500 CEO. The issue or failure in that example was a preoccupation with the psychological, social injury of rejection. The phone ultimately served as a shield or wall. It essentially shut the door of possibility. Fate is compromised because of fear. Let's go back and reverse the scenario to one that involves a verbal engagement or initiation. Suppose you do decide to set yourself apart from those confined in the elevator with you for what may unbelievably seem like an eternity. Small talk can triumph or falter on a case-by-case basis, but regardless, what have you got to lose? Breaking that anxious barrier might lead to a promotion. Who knows? And with that, I would like to suggest that you look for the positive in awkward moments and face them. Like an investment, an opportunity may be worth it. Short-term or long-term thinking makes a difference. Do you want to go up or down the social ladder? You choose.